we'll show you the deck real quick before we get started. Uh, this is my take on it. There's a lot of similarities between decks. Most of the main board is pretty much locked in for all the different 4C Lurrus decks you'll see for the cycling. But I tweaked up the mana base. I wanted to make it a little bit more possible for us to actually cast the blue spells. A lot of people are just playing Mardu mana bases and are just throwing these cards to the wayside. But when we have the opportunity to just either throw all of our cards to the graveyard for cycle triggers, it doesn't matter if you don't hit the right color of mana because then your deck is just doing what it's normally doing. But I just like having that ability to be able to, on some important times, cast your spells. But basic cycle build here, we have all of the 1 mana cyclers that are under CMC 3 for the permanents. And then, of course, all the rest of the 1 mana cyclers that we have. Only 1 card in the deck has cycling 2, and that's our Rescuer, which is also one of the win conditions. We don't normally want to cycle this card, so it's more of a, we want to play it. But the way this deck normally shakes out is you really want to have either a Flourishing Fox, a Valiant Rescuer, or a Dran Stinger in your opening hand, and then you want to be able to just windmill off of those, and then just hope to get to the late game. This deck plays 2 different ways. You either have the aggro-aggressive approach where you just race your opponent and get to your Zenith Flare as fast as possible, knocking them down and just tick, 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 race them all the way to the end. Or this deck plays the get to the late game where you happen to have 20 cards with cycling in your graveyard and you just one-shot them with Zenith Flare. The best comparison that I can think of for this deck is kind of like Mono Red Prowess, because it plays kind of that way. You need to have your beater, and if you don't have your beater, your hand is kind of weak. And then you just put all of your effort into your beaters, and you just cycle off value. You try to cast, in this case, cycle instead of cast, as many spells as possible to deal as much damage early on, and then just win late game with 1 big boomer. So that's the deck. That's how it kind of works. We're going to jump in here and see how it works. So far, from all the games that I've played with it, it seems to be pretty 50-50. I wouldn't consider this a great deck for high-level tournament play, but I think the deck is really good for like your local game store. But that's where it gets kind of tricky, because this deck seems to be working pretty well against the 2 headers of the format, which are like Fires and Team of Reclamation, because those decks kind of do nothing until like the later few turns, and once you get underneath them, you just win. But the deck just piddles to any form of graveyard removal or consistent life gain. So it's fine if the deck works. If you can get under people, then you can go for it. So this hand is close. Fox is one of the best few cards you can have in your opener, and a Zenith Flare having in your back pocket is just powerful, just being able to have it there. Seeing as our opponents on Umuri, most likely they're the creature deck, so I'm pretty sure they're not going to be running hand disruption, so we will have Zenith Flare to get to the end. But the thing is it's a 1-lander. Now, we'll be able to cycle a bunch of cards on turn 2 to hopefully hit our lands, but this deck only has 18 lands in it. So it's risky, but since we're on the draw, I'm going to keep this one, and that gives us 1 extra look, and we'll go from there. Our opponent is being gracious and also mulling down from a hand of 8 to a hand of 7, or maybe more. So that's nice of them. Oh my goodness, all the way down to 5. Alright, well, and that's pretty good. I am going to start with just getting Flourishing Fox out there. Since it is a creature build of Umori, they don't have as many removal spells, and so just being able to start the cycling and starting with the creature is fantastic. There's nothing bad about just playing a tap land and making this guy a 2-2 and getting in with our slower Goblin Guide. Well, in this case, we won't get in. But who knows? We may draw an untap land. We just might. So we're going to cycle first, just to see if we can hit that untap land. And we'll cycle first with the cards we're least likely to cast. We do not hit it, so we're going to throw out this Triome and send it back to them, because there is no point in attacking into a 0-3. Welcome to the stream, everyone who's watching. Again, playing 4-color Lurrus Cylers. Deck seems really fun. I'm really enjoying it. Our goal here is to see how many games in best of 1 we can win out of 10, just to get a simple percentage, and go from there. After that, we do plan on doing some drafts. So, tricky situation here. Can't really attack. Can't really effectively use Go for the Blood at the moment here. So it looks like I'm just going to play out Valiant Rescuer, and then next turn try to start valuing out with our cycle abilities. I want to play Rescuer in this instance instead of Stinger, mainly because since this is the creature build of Yumari, and it is looking like we're going to want to try and get to the late game here for a good Zenith Flare banger, we want to be able to survive, and Valiant Rescuer is a really, really good card for that. Just being able to keep putting out blockers. Oh, we finally hit our 3rd land, so now we have Decide time. I kind of like simply cycling once, get Flourishing Fox up to a 3-power guy, and then just straight up either killing Poliwag or Paradise Druid, leaning currently towards the Poliwag, mainly because Paradise Druid seems kind of menial. They look to seem to be, well, Paradise Druid is providing them their blue mana. So I am going to take this opportunity and just get Paradise Druid off the board. We're going to cycle a Creator here, make a 1/1. I'm going to attack with Flourishing Fox. I'm going to give them the opportunity to put both Poliwag and Umori in front of Fox, because I'm perfectly fine trading Fox for Umori right now. And also, since I didn't think they were blocking, that's a free way to get in with 3 damage. Then we'll use Go for the Blood to take out Paradise Druid. This cuts them off of blue, because right now they seem to be just stuck on green. They did mull down to 5, and so cutting them off their mana seems like a good fair time for me. And then hopefully they don't do anything here too crazy, and we can just start cycling through all of our cards. I don't think there's any reason to play Granite Stinger right now. I think we just want to get as many cyclers in the graveyard as we can while we have Zenith Flare, and then just keep building up this Fox and keep pooping out 1/1s. For those that are watching while we're waiting for our opponent to make the most important decision of their life, leave a comment in the chat. One thing that I'm trying to accomplish is one of the tasks that Twitch lays out, which is basically how many of your viewers are active in the chat. And the more that your viewers are active in the chat, the more points you get. And I'm trying to get all of my Twitch challenges accomplished. So leave a comment, say hello. Put a couple question marks, a smiley face, anything you want. Just let me know that you can hear me and that you are there. Another fun fact, Twitch doesn't count viewers if they simply mute the stream. So if you end up watching at work, or you're just enjoying other music and you just want to see the cards and not listen to my annoying voice, turn down the volume on your sound mixer and not mute it in the stream. That way I still get counted for your view, and you still get to watch without having to listen to me. So a fun little fact. We're learning things. So the Strix is scary. Very scary. I'm glad that I killed the Paradise Druid, because that can go out of hand pretty early. So now we gotta think. We gotta put together a plan here. I'm not at a point where I can attack with Flourishing Fox. I can get it up to power, let's see here, 5. I can get it to power 8, so I can potentially trick them. So we'll see what happens here. I will attack with the Flourishing Fox, because I can startling develop it, which essentially gives it +3/+3. But they're not gonna block, so we're just gonna cycle a bunch and just get in for a bunch of damage, just to power up our Zenith Flare and knock them low. Still gonna hold on to the starting development, because that can be a giant growth if and when we need it. Hit over 7, knock them down to 10. And they're getting pretty close to a Zenith Flare death. Thank you for letting me know. Giver, thanks for joining as well. You see my alternate alias here of Darth Partridge. You know, that is my gamer tag from the years of old. Thanks for popping in. And thanks for letting me know, Soyak, that the sound sounds better. One thing I was having issues with was that I forgot that the webcam had a mic on it, and the mic was double picking everything up, and so it was kind of echoey during my tests earlier today. I am getting old. That I am. But please, all of you, give critiques about the stream quality, commentary, visuals, audios, because we're trying to just make it as clean and crisp as possible. I've put the money in. I want to get the truth. Thank you. I have no issue taking 1 damage here. Or sorry, 6 damage here. I don't want to trade a 1/1 here just to prevent 1 damage. Although, we get Zenith Flare up to 8. Yeah, I'll take 6. We're in a fine spot. Alrighty, so I get him with Fox. I feel like they almost have to block, but I don't know. Maybe they won't. Tack all out, they at least take 1, go to 9. I can put them to 1, because most likely they block to kill Rescuer. But 1 is not dead. I'd be left with a 1/1 and they would be left with a couple blockers. So I will just get Foxy. Could go for the blood beforehand, but eh. Definitely close the closet. But this is a Where's Waldo game. You gotta find out what's in my closet. This is actually our combination of guest room office. Let's get the Strix out of here. And I'm just going to play 1 Fox and cycle on their turn. If you want me to, I can close the closet. We'll do that after this game. Were you the first one to use the guest room? Huh. Neat. Then you should know what's in that closet. Although I'm pretty sure it has changed. We've done a lot of spring cleaning. We got rid of a bunch of stuff and we found a lot of stuff. In fact, sad as it is, before I lived at this residence, we found a spot that we loved. We put down our safety deposit check and everything. We were going to move in the next day. But the day before we moved in, I got a job offer like an hour away from the place that we were just about to move into. And I was like, man, you know what? I am not into making an hour commute to work. And so we canceled it. We found a new place to live, and we got our safety deposit check back minus a few $100s because of rules and regulations. Turns out we didn't cash that check because we found that check. So a year later, anyway, let's win this game. I'll smash. But everything should be fine. I called him up, and even though it has this check will be null and void after 90 days, they said try and cash it, and if it doesn't cash, then they'll make me a new one. Ooh. Does it have life gain? Oh, it's a land. GG's, opponent. That'll be one in the bagger. Yeah. The fact that this gives trample is also really busted when you have a big flourishing fox. It's just that you rarely play it. I think the only times that I've played it is if I've wanted to get Lurrus on the battlefield and I had nothing else in the graveyard to throw its direction. I really like your username, Madwoman with a book, and thank you for the follow. I find that very, very pleasing. And Giver35, you followed back at 1 p.m. before we went on, so thank you for following and adding your name to our wonderful list of viewers. Pew. And that'll do it. Alright. I had a blast. That was fantastic. Alright, we'll update our record here. And I will go close the closet, but since I don't want you to see me running away, I'll slam that up for just 1 second. Okay. Closet is shut. Distractions nullified. I look at you sternly. I know what you've done. People be texting me during the stream. Alrighty. We jump back in again. 1-0! 1-0. For all that are watching, we are currently playing 4-color Lurrus Cycles, a deck that I just think is the bee's knees. I think it's super fun. Anything that draws a bunch of cards and, you know, just annoys your opponent is a good time to me. I don't think the deck is fantastic. I don't think the deck is your tier 1 top deck, but I think it's tier 1.5 maybe. We are gonna have to mull this one. It's close, but it's a one-lander trap. Our opponent doesn't have a companion, we do, so it's almost as if we're mulling down to the similar 7-card hand. So we're gonna take that opportunity for a pseudo free mulligan. And this hand is great. We got a Fox. We have 2 mana, and of course almost every single card in this deck has cycling. So we'll keep. We'll bottom the card we're least likely to play. And let's get at it. Thank you, Soayak. Are you noticing is it because I'm playing red, white, and blue cards? Is that why I'm an American hero? I do what I can for my country. Ketria Triome. Could be Teamer Rec. Teamer Reclamation doesn't really run any companions. And if they do, I'm not really afraid for my life because they just kill you all out in 1 point. So I'm not really caring to play healer. Although, being able to attack for 2 extra damage next turn. Nah. We'll just keep cycling through. We'll save that. No need to keep any secrets. We'll throw Draneth Healer into... We'll just throw this in the grave. It's perfectly fine cycling through most of your creatures, because you can just replay them with Lurrus later on. For those of you enjoying my stream currently, I'm drinking out of a Culver's mug. Worked there for 4 years, so I'm glad I at least have a mug to show for it. Sprite Dragon. Okay, so we're not looking into Teamer Reclamation here. We're looking into Teamer Spells. Before I decide which land to play, I'm going to cycle through these guys. So if I draw another card I can cycle, which I did, then I'll throw out the plants and just go aggro. Nug him for 5. 6. Nug him for 6. Then we're up to 5 Cyclers in a graveyard for Zenith Flare. For those of you that don't know what the card does or are new to the set of Ikoria, Zenith Flare, 4 mana instant, deals X damage to any target, and you gain X life, where X is the number of cards with cycling in your graveyard. And the race is on. Ballsy opponent, because I win. So we'll attack him for 6 here. They have no mana up, so they're not going to be able to counter my spell. Shocking a Godless Shrine. And nug him for Xaxes. That'll make us 2-0! Slowly climbing the old ladder. Built this deck because I think it's fun. Also needed a better deck than the scraps they provide for the starter decks they give you in order to climb the ladder. Let's update the old record there. For those that are just joining, playing 4-color Lurrus Cyclers, and then after we do 10 rounds, just to give us a nice, simple win percentage, we're going to hop into Premier Draft Ikoria, and maybe Draft 1, maybe Draft 2, depends on how long the games go, and how awake I feel. Made sure to sleep in for you guys today so that I wasn't groggy or tired, and you could have my full attention and energy. Stream is cutting out a bit, by the way. 1 second. Let me check something. Thank you for letting me know, Giver. I have just alerted the missus to switch her phone from Wi-Fi to data. So that should help a little bit. Alright, this hand seems great. It's a good keep. This deck is very scary though, so we'll see what we can do. We have unlimited data, so it's nothing but a thing. She just thinks that our Wi-Fi is a little bit faster than our data is, and it's probably true. So fun fact about Obosh. So for those of you who don't know, Companion, you have to build your deck entirely around what the card says. This card says that all of your CMCs in your deck has to be odd. And this says, if a source you control with an odd converted mana cost deals damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage instead. I thought that was just like combat damage, but it actually doubles the effect damage of when Serrated Scorpion dies. So that 4-balled me out of nowhere one time when I was playing. But the race is on. Shock in. Pump fake and attack here. Maybe they'll block, thinking that I am a dunce. I'll even throw down the oops. Little mental mind games. I didn't mean to attack. I am a mere 1-1 against your 1-2. Oh. This deck doesn't really care much about their graveyard. That's what Memory Leak is mainly there for, to get Lurrus and Croxes out of the graveyard. Pretty much anything with escape, really. I like to hold on to the startling developments, though, especially with Flourishing Fox, because since the Fox puts +1/+1 counters on itself, this not only can cycle, not only can turn a 1-1 that you make off of, man, I'm having a brain fart here, off of the other Cycler guy, but it can make Flourishing Fox gain 3 power and toughness. Man, I hate Cauldron Familiars. I say we just keep going wide. Wide with our pride. Put a bunch of Foxies out there. Swing. If they block, I don't cycle. If they do block... Sorry, if they block, I don't cycle. If they don't block, I do cycle. Just to put the fear in them. Make them think I might have something else in my hand. So I'm not gonna cycle one now. Play some psychological games. Put the fear in them. Maybe they think I got a shock or something, or a removal spell. Don't play Oven. Ooh, Deskwood. Oof. Ladies and gentlemen, we are drawing mighty nice today. Swing the team. You gonna kill one of my guys? Nope, just keep their life high. Cycle. Draw me another Cycler. Ooh, feels good. Draw me another Cycler. Ooh, can we get the clean sweep? Draw me one more. For all the marbles. You'll love to see it. So they take 2 off their Murderous Rider, and then they take 12, and I have a Lethal Zenith Flare in my hand. So unless they gain 3 here, we got it again. Fun point, Soyak. Yeah, Justice Strike does kill Obosh. Speaking of the things that Justice Strike kills, did you hear that they're bringing Phyrexian Obliterator to Historic? And being able to Justice Strike your opponent's Phyrexian Obliterator feels really nice. Yeah, no need to waste their time. For those of you that don't know, Phyrexian Obliterator is a 5/5 trampler that costs black, 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 black. So you gotta be heavy into black to cast it. And it has the effect of whenever a source deals damage to this creature, the controller of that source sacrifices that many permanents. So if I were to shock it, then I would deal 2 damage to the Phyrexian Obliterator, but I would have to sacrifice 2 permanents. But Justice Strike states that target creature deals damage to itself equal to its power. So, by Justice Striking your opponent's Phyrexian Obliterator, their own creature deals 5 damage to itself, meaning that you kill their Phyrexian Obliterator, and then they have to sacrifice 5 other permanents. So it's a 1 for 6. Alright, let's update the record. We are 3-0 and just cruising right along. Game 4. Mono black control is going to be fun. It will. It will. Mono black Devotion was actually my first real modern deck, and mostly black Devotion was my first ever standard deck way back in Theros. So black has always been one of my favorite colors. So this hand doesn't have a fox, but our opponent doesn't have a companion, so that feels nice. This hand is definitely a keep. We have 2 mana, and we have a win condition plus a finisher, which I guess is also a win condition. So we'll keep this one. Since I do have Zenith Flare in my opening hand, I am going to shock in Sacred Foundry. Well, no. I might draw another land. But say I had 2 shocks, just for information of the deck and how I play it. If I didn't have Zenith Flare in my hand, I would put the land in tap to just save the 2 life in the blinds of not knowing what my opponent is playing. But since I do have Zenith Flare, if I had to shock in order to do something, I would, just to get the counters going up. So we're playing against Mono Red. Since it's a 10 Street Dodger, it looks like we're going to be playing against Cavalcade. So this is a more low to the ground opponent. So Drannith Healer is going to lift a lot of weight. But since most of... Whoa, what just happened? Did I just click through my turn? Guys, I think I just accidentally clicked through my turn. What? Well, oops. This is hard. You gotta talk and think and stuff. Wickety whack. You know, since I'm new to streaming, I should probably put together a punt counter so everybody can see how many mistakes I make and keep track. Alright, this time we will not be hasty and click through our turn. I am going to play... Oh, actually no. We'll play this guy first. Since most of their decks are 1/1s, I want you to start popping out all the tokens this guy does. It hoses their deck a good deal. But that's fine. Forces the removal. Now we go into the life game plan. But we keep drawing all the painful lands. We will be able to gain life off of a Zenith Flare late game. I will play this tapped, because all we get is a draw. We only lose 1 life, but for this matchup we just want to get to the late game. Really good card. Really good card, especially when they get Cavalcade. Okay. Rescuer. And here I will shock. Cycle once to make a Deuter. And then we'll save our second cycle for their turn, because Valiant Rescuer states you're looking to make 1 per turn. No attacks. We're on the Zenith Flare plan. Do they sacrifice their Scorch Bitter to get in for 3 with Spitfire? Oof! Ladies and gentlemen, that will be game. Big ol' loss on our behalf. We just gonna hit this concede button. Well, we messed up a little bit on that one. Actually, I skipped through one of my turns. But that's a tough matchup. It's a tough matchup. You cannot win them all. To err is human. Alright, current record as 3-1. Give another spiel here, just in case we have new different viewers rotating in. For this stream, what we're currently doing here is playing through 4-color Lurrus Cylers. There's the deck list, so y'all can look while I talk about yourselves. Goal is to play 10 games with this deck, just to get a simple win percentage, a clean 10 games. Since we're only playing best of one, it's almost as if we're playing a league. And then after that, we do plan on playing some Ikoria draft, so stick around. May do one, may do two. If we scrub out of one or we win really fast, we may do 3. Just kind of all depends on how much energy I have. I have nothing else planned for the night, so we'll just play until y'all are bored and leave me alone. Little message from Ayek in the chat. I think you have to play Lurrus early versus Burn, if only for the lifelink. Yeah, you can. The main reason I didn't is because they had so many lava coils that were right in my face. Like, for instance, the one they hit off of their 1-mana draw 2s. So, yeah, Lurrus is kind of important in that matchup. Drannith Healer did what he could do, but once they got Cavalcade, it was just over. So let's jump in. We're 3-1. We're almost halfway there through this little bit. Mainly using this deck for personal enjoyment and sanity. Oop, starting to get a little dark out. Also using it, and mainly using it to climb the ladder, mainly because I didn't really have a great deck for that. So this was the simplest and easiest deck to build since I've been drafting Ikoria a lot. I had most of the deck, so it was an easy include. Didn't have to spend that many wild cards to finish it off. But I am using this deck to grind along with a Brawl deck to get just 9 more rare wild cards. That is how far away I am from finishing Temur Reclamation. And so that is where I'm at. So this is another really bad matchup. If this is what I think it is. If this is the All That Glitters Aura enchantment deck, then they gain a ton of life, and reliable life gain is one of the ways to best this deck. Which makes it rather difficult. They just put all of their pants on this Alseid Life's Bounty since it has lifelink, or they put it on a secondary creature so that Alseid of Life's Bounty can protect that creature. Green mana makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. That means that this is more of a enchantment mid-range deck, most likely. So that I can race a little bit easier. I'm going to pre-combat cycle once. Just to see if we hit another land. Perfect. And then I'll attack. Let them think whether or not they want to take 4 or trade away their ramp. They usually don't get rid of Paradise Druid. If this is a Aura deck, then they usually also like to put all their pants on Paradise Druid. Wow, they block. Oh my. So that feels pretty good. They have the All-Seeing Eyes that gives their creatures vigilance. And then they just put a whole bunch of auras, make it into like this huge thing, and then win from there. So yep, this is the enchantment All That Glitters Voltron-y deck. Thank goodness they only had 1. They're going to gain 3 life here, but we're going to be hopefully smacking them for more on the backswing. All depends on whether or not they play a second Alseid or a Healer's Hawk. They don't. Okay. The race is on. It is returning back to them, so they must have some 1-mana something. Help me out, chat. What 1-mana instant or flash spells does the All That Glitters enchantment aura decks have? Valiant Rescuer doesn't seem to be doing too much in this instance. At this point, it's literally just a race, and I would like to just nug them for 10 here and hopefully draw into our big boom boom spell. Let's attack, see what they do. If they flash in some form of blocker or do something to where our Flourishing Fox cannot deal damage. Okay. Then I might consider playing out the Rescuer. They got something. Is it just asking them if they want to sacrifice All Seed? Is that what it is? We'll just go deep. He can. He can. But I am going to gamble that they're not going to deal 14 damage to me next turn. I will, however, keep him in my hand, firstly because he costs 2 to cycle, and I want to kind of go as heavy as I can this turn. Nice. So that presents lethal. If they don't have another creature, then they cannot attack. So it kind of puts them into the situation of they have to have removal or another creature, otherwise they are not able to attack with their bounty. We have removal, however. They gain 3, puts them to 12, and then as long as they don't have anything else to do, we just cycle 2 spells, make Flourishing Fox 12, and win. Let's fight. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Yep, that's fine. So they're going to gain 5 here. And also make it so he can't attack it. Oh, right, hexproof. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, so they didn't gain 5 from the fight, which is good. Alright, so we cannot attack in anymore. Because since it's indestructible, they just block it and gain 5 life. So what we do is the voodoo. I think at this point we do play out Rescuer. Or are we just drawing to our win condition because they still can't attack? I'll play a Fox as a jumper. And then cycle once. We'll leave Startling Development because I might be playing this land. Yep. Pass it back. See what they got. No attacks. See what they got. Show me what you got. So we're going to Texas. 1, 2, 3. Give our guy trample. Or this gives him 3 power as well. Show me what you got. A concession. Okay. Alright, halfway through this little session we have going on here. 4-1 with Lurrus cycles. Take this moment and sell myself. For those of you that are watching now, this past week I have set up a Patreon. It would be wonderful if you would go check it out, at least look at the page. No obligations to purchase anything, just want to let you know what all I have. We have 4 different tiers, each ranging from $1, $2, $5, or $10, however much you wish to pledge me each month. Anything at all is very much appreciated, but nothing of course is required. With each of those tiers, you get a little something something out of me. So go check them out. There's some really cool things that I'm offering up. A lot of free stuff. So, well, free with your pledges. It's free if you pay me. Give me money to get free things. So please do check it out. It's in the top right side of your screen there. That is one of the newer additions of the stream today. This hand seems medium. We have 2 lands, which is kind of the bare minimum we need for a hand. If you have a 1-lander, it's pretty risky to keep. Usually only will keep a 1-lander if I have a Fox. This hand also has 2 shock lands, so we're looking to damage ourselves a lot. And with this hand, we'd probably lean heavily on the Rescuer plan. Unless they're playing a more controlling deck, then I might lean more into the Stinger just to get the aggro in. It will keep. It will keep. And if we draw a land, if our first draw is a land, then I will play Footfalls instead of cycling it. Only if. Another thing, and of course throughout the stream, thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please give the stream a follow. It's a simple click away, and that's actually free. And that just lets you know and gets you information as to when I'm going live. It sends out a little ping. It also lets you know when I do actually go live. And because it helps me out. Helps me out. This might be a Euro deck. So we'll hold on that for now. Additionally, please leave a comment in the chat. I'm currently working on the challenges that are laid down by Twitch. Trying to fill out my punch card, if you will. And one of those things is to have a higher percentage of viewers be active in the chat. So type something, say something, let me know you're there, let me know you care. And it really helps me reach that position where I can start getting monetized and start getting the ability for my wonderful viewers to subscribe to the channel. All of your words help. Pick out your favorite emoji. They're weird. Thank you. Could be the Teamer Reclamation deck. Could just be Teamer Flash. That puts the tempo on me. Owie. Keep on doing the thing. What could they have that would be pausing this? They just have a stop set? Just for stop set's sake? You know, free spells. Here, I'll put a stop. Put a stop here and here. I'm MTG Rick! I can hear Casey laughing in the other room. We've been watching through Rick and Morty. She had never seen it before, and so I am indulging her by rewatching it. For those that haven't seen Rick and Morty, here's a hoot. Actually just got done watching episode 303, and that is the almighty, ever-resound Pickle Rick episode. There are. I'm pretty sure I can almost... There has to be. There has to be someone out there that made some alter of some card for Rick and Morty. Has to. Oh yeah. I should probably remove the stops. That's why it's pausing. If not, since we got a Godzilla-themed skit, or kit set, why am I saying skit kits? A Godzilla-themed set, Who knows? Maybe down the road. MTG tries to be a family-friendly content creator, so maybe some mature cartoon might not make the cut. But who knows? Perhaps. Also, full disclosure, if I know who you are in the chat, I'm trying to simply only use your stream names for your own anonymity. So if you do want to tell the world what your real name is, that's all fine by me. I'll just leave it up to you to decide whether or not you want that information divulged. So if I call you by your stream name thinking, why isn't he calling me by my real name? That'd be why. Oh, the darkness is setting in, guys. The darkness is setting in. The lights are going down. Okay. So I know we at least cycle once. Not really doing much. They could just be waiting to slam a reclamation. Oh, there's nothing wrong with saying Casey's name. Everyone knows she's my wife. I've announced her existence throughout the entire world that the case of base is Casey. Had a whole conversation in a different stream about how I came up with that name for her. Fun fact, another name that nickname or pseudonym for Casey is Collateral Casey. So, for those that care. Cycle once, get that thing in. After this game I'm going to shut the blinds and turn the lights on here. Get that ugly unnatural light going so that way you can start seeing me as I fade into shadows. And turn. Aww. Well, I will cycle just one more, just to deal that damage with Drana Stinger. I know I'll lose the token, but it's all about the damage. It's about that damage. Especially now that Zenith Flare does 6. So, ooh, they shock. What are they gonna do? That looks like they're leaving up counter magic. That ain't kosher. I'm gonna play Rescuer, see if I can bait out a counter. And if he resolves, then I'll Memory Leak, try to take the other counter from their hand. They just flash in a Brazen Borrower. Nice. That can't block my Rescuer. I'm gonna look at their hand. Just because I'm curious as to... Oh, we'll take the Wilderness Reclamation. Good thing we did. In before they kill my Rescuer. Do they? Do they get in for 3 and then wipe me? I have lethal in hand if I just have 8 mana. You dirty one. Casey! I'm gonna assume that last comment in the chat is for you. Well, folks, I think that makes this game a win for us. No surprises. Don't want them to draw into a removal spell. Or sorry, counter spell. She lies. She lies. Casey and I have been doing really well.
Mark, we ate nothing but carbs today.
Okay, yes, today we had pizza and chocolate chip cookies, but I am down 19 pounds, and I think she's down like 15.
No, don't be that crazy. I'm down like maybe 12 or 13.
Okay, she's down to 13.
Thank you, though.
Is it nice weather up there? We had a little bit of rain down here. So we managed to go for a nice walk, about like 30 or 40 minute walk. And it started to delicately sprinkle before, right when we were walking, but it stopped, thankfully. Sunny and 60. What a beautiful world we live in. You know, despite all of the terrible, terrible things happening in the world. Horrible things can still be beautiful. Horrible things can still be beautiful. That'd be the Mark Neighbors quote of the day. Egad. I'll throw out the good games. It's over. It's over. Nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I do want to kind of just look at their hand, but nah. I'll just cycle until I can't cycle no more, which should be one more. Yep. And Mr. Bond, I want you to die. What's the plural of apocalypse? See, the thing is usually when there's one apocalypse, it's over and there's never really time for another. Probably, it'd be kind of funny if it was apocalypsos. That's another win, folky folks. That puts us up to 5-1. We'll update that on the screen. Whoa, I put an enter in there. Okay, quit jumping around. 5-1. Mid-game announcement. Just let everybody know, because, you know, people cycle in and out every time we get new viewers. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment in the Steam chat. This is what we're trying to do today. I'm trying to check box off a lot of the different Twitch challenges that they have for their streamers. And one of them is to increase the percentage of viewers that comment. Just see how they're active in your chat. So please, if at any time, leave a comment in the chat. Thank you for those that have been talking my ear off and giving me a fun time. Really like reading your comments, really like talking with you guys. Makes it so much more interesting than me just explaining cards, because that can get tedious. Then I enjoy just being able to conversate. Apocalypses. You know, the kind of funny thing is, shenanigans, is the plural of many apocalypses is boring. Like, the word boring is the plural of apocalypse, because after one happens, like, I mean, the second one's not that interesting. It's like, oh no, the world ended. Oh no, the world ended again. You know, it's like, way too much.
So, like, are you trying to bullshit us right now, or is that just a joke? Like, what? Sir.
Yeah. If a second apocalypse comes in trying to be cool, it ain't cool. Oh, I forgot to shut the blinds and turn the lights on. You will have one more game of shadows. Let me speak right into your ears. You will have one more game of me in the shadows. And then I will turn the lights on and shut the blinds. Unless Casey is watching and is decent and wishes to come in and support me by shutting the blinds and turning the lights on. That has been your close-up Mark Neighbors moment. This hand sucks. Let's keep it. I'm using headphones too, though. I just can't hurt myself with my own voice. I'm immune. Nice. Casey,
Yes?
can you shut the blinds and turn the lights off and say hello to everyone?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, guys. I might win before the game starts. Look, it's Casey. Look. For all of you that care, In the future, Casey is going to be doing a draft for me. She is going to draft a deck, and then I am going to play it. And I will only give her 2 little beads of information. So she does not play Magic. She knows a little about the game. But soon enough, she is going to draft me a deck, and we're going to see what we can do off of it.
So when am I going to be doing the draft?
Unknown. Unknown. I kind of want to wait until a new interesting draft comes out, like one of those throwback drafts.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, like you know how they did like M20? That's not like a throwback draft, but I kind of want them to like throw out like a cons draft or something, or a Magic Origins draft. Since I know they can, they have the cards. Then, once that happens, the following Wednesday, Casey will sit down and draft.
All right. Looking forward to it.
Thank you for your help.
I got you. Did you want anything else? I thought you said that you wanted another light turned on or off.
Yeah, the overhead. I mean, this, with the blinds closed, the computer screens, like, take over.
Okay, so do you think it's fine off then?
Turn it on, let's see what happens. Turn it off, I hate it. Casey, can you get me some water?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love Lurrus block. We had a chaos draft with a bunch of friends, and I brought in a Lurrus pack just because I loved it so much. And let me tell you, most of the cards in that set suck in a chaos draft. They're bad. But just the set in general is super fun. I'll attack. If they block, that's fine. If they don't block, I'm probably just going to kill this thing because it's really powerful in the deck that it's in. Yep. Off of the trade. Hope to not get blown out by like a 1-mana pump spell. Make sure you...
Set that guy right there.
Thanks. Make sure you attack before you fight, folks. Because that's grammatical. Just say get in your extra damage. Die, dinosaur. Now we're up on cards in hand, up on board. They're gonna hit us with the cloth. A man of the cloth. And now we just cycle, cycle, cycle. We got 2 Zenith Flares, so that's our end game. Oof. Pretty, pretty. Smash that spacebar. Sad thing about Clothis is that once per turn, it eats one of our Cylers out of the graveyard, so every single turn it makes Zenith's Flare worth less, but not worthless. Enter. Shenanigan 917 says, do those cats on the side have antlers? I'm assuming those are antlers. They could just be weird tentacle ears. I don't know. I'm guessing it's supposed to be a representation of a different card, like in the set, so there's got to be a definitive answer. Want to see it do a trick? You want to see it? You want to see it do its best COVID-19 impression? Relevancy. Pick something. Do something. Oh yeah, thank you, Sonic. Yep, the one on the left is mine. You can purchase these or unlock them in the game. I do my best to not spend any money on this, because if you can do it for free, why not? And so you get to pick your little pet, and they have better ones. Honestly, in my opinion, this is one of the ugliest ones, but it's the first free one you get. Because why would they give you the good ones for free? So if you want, I can show you what some of the pets are. Bingo was his name-o. So we gotta kill this thing, because Drakuseth is just back-breaking if they put that in off of Ilharg. So that's where one of our Zenith Flares are gonna go. So let's just... This doesn't have some weird text where it's like... So they'll get it back, but we just cannot let them... We can't let that happen. Attack for 4. Sad thing about Clothis is it can ramp them and gain them life. Oh man. We're dry. I think one of the reasons why the camera was so dim last week was because I didn't have a full monitor. I didn't have a full second monitor like I do now. I had a like a 14-inch little screen. They had another one. Come on. Come on. Little turdlets. Do they block the Fox when I can potentially make it a 7/7 this turn? Or do they block the 1/1 just to save a life, and then I get them? I just search black. Pew. Well, I will go for it. Uh-oh. We'll at least kill it. We need to hit one more, though. Come on! No! But at least now we have a lot of Cylers in the yard. See, when you start pointing Zenith Flares at your opponent's creatures, it just feels bad. It just puts you on the back foot. See what we can do. See what we can do. You all got that giant hair scruff? Got all that hair from not being able to get her snipped? My hair is getting really bad. Thank goodness for hats. Just a pile of pig right here. Incoming. You know what this deck needs? Wizards messed up by not printing a land destruction spell with cycling. Or at least not in this set. Can't quite recall if there is a land destruction spell with cycling. Too many gods. Too many. Gosh. So this can't get lifelink. This can gain them 2 life. We swing out, put them to 16. They kill this guy, these go up to 9. We cycle 1, these go up to 10. We deal 10 to them. They go down to 6. And then we get them on the back. That is the plan. Yep. Yep. That's the plan. So either way, this is doing 1 damage to them. Is there any reason to wait? Can't think of any. Went out a Stone Rain with cycling. just because I don't want to have to pause between every little thing. So they go up to 8. I don't think they have another way of gaining life. And we just kill them on our next turn. Because 9 is more than 8. Wow. Even if they do gain a life, we're going to be able to get in for one. Because they played a boar. And I'll say good game! Is that 7? It is. I don't know why I said oops. Maybe they said oops because I said good game and then I had to cycle a land. Moving on up. Alright, we'll update the score here. We are now 6-1 with the Lurrus Cycles deck. For those of you just joining, thanks for stopping by to my little shop of horrors here. We're playing 4-color Lurrus Cycles right now. After we play our 10th match, we're going to jump right into Premium Draft Ikoria, and then we're probably just going to play that throughout the rest of the night. Might just throw in a little bit of Brawl intermittently if we play multiple drafts. Goal of the stream is comments. I want you to put a ton into the chat. We're trying to pump that as much as possible. I'm trying to increase my percentage of viewers versus how many of those viewers actually say something. So put something in the chat. Even if it's like one thing you say and then leave. You come in, boo, and then leave. That's fine. That's great. Your boos go towards my benefit. A benaboo, if you will. Choke for Snow. I think if Snow gets too out of control, they're just gonna ban Astrolabe and the rest of the formats like they did Pauper. They can't ban Snow as a mechanic though, because there's some fair Snow cards. Scred. Quaddle. But if they do ban all of Snow permanences, then I don't know. So we got a Lurrus v. Lurrus match here. Put them on one of two different things. They're either on the cycling deck too, or they're playing one of the sacrifice decks. I don't think in either of those situations we want to play a Footfall Crater, so I think we're just going to end up cycling it. We'll still cycle the Frostvale Ambushers. I would say maybe in 1 out of every 20 games I might cast the Ambusher. And it's pretty nice when it does happen because it can give you 2 extra turns. So we are playing one against one of the sacrifice decks. Let me just say, I hate Cauldron Familiar. I hate Cauldron Familiar. I think the card is just nauseating to play against. It's just boring and annoying, and it's like, ugh. Shafiel? Any of you guys like Cauldron Familiar? Like, don't get me wrong. The card's good, and in the decks is played substantial. I just think, ugh. It's tedious. It's tedious. I like a grindy game, but not that grindy. Priest of Forgotten Gods. Thwip, thwip, thwip. We're going to attack because there is no way in all of the green and mighty heck that they block with Priest here. So we'll just take our or get our beats in where beats are due. Do we just make 1/1s? I think so. So they're on the Priestess plan. Let's cycle once. If we draw a land, I might consider playing one of the Draniths. One of the Draenei. No. This way, if they make us sacrifice a creature, we have something. You think the cat problem is an issue on Arena? Try shortcutting the Team of Recolation decks that have to click on every single land multiple times every end step just to float mana. Yeah, they need to have a float all mana. Of course, it's their auto tapper, so you have to be willing to take the risk that they might float the wrong mana if you have dual lands. But if you're casting a giant X spell, you don't care what color mana you're putting into it. They just need to have a right click, tap them all. That's what they need. Love Whisper Squad. I think that card is a sleeper. I think the card is fun. It's good in so many decks right now. You know you gotta attack with your cats first. Why did Rescuer die? What the heck? Why did my Rescuer die? Why did I not have the opportunity to respond? Ladies and gentlemen, the game bugged me. Heh. Guess who's back? Back again. Main reason why this deck kind of pales a little bit and doesn't quite make it to that tier 1 standing is because it doesn't have a board wipe, and it seems like board wipes are super strong. So having a board wipe cycler, oh, now we're just putting things over the top. Wasn't a misclick. I didn't have anything to click. It just tapped, pew pew pew, killed it. I think at the time my mouse was over here on my kitty. It just didn't let me choose. So I had to double check. I was like, does it deal 2 damage to something? I was pretty sure it was sacrifice, but it didn't sacrifice. Squad goals. Ladies and gentlemen, this game might be a loss. Only got 5 cyclers. Yeah, like Sweltering Sun, but in Ikoria Standard. And maybe to cost 1 to cycle while we're asking. See, now it's at least letting me make a duder. This one. Yeah. This deck really goes off when Priest the Forgotten God survives. Sad thing is like in the current meta, it rarely survives. I just haven't drawn any of my Go for Bloods. Okay, we'll start stinging. That seems to be like our only chance here. And if we draw another land, I might play the healer as well. But we really just need to dig for our Zenith Flares. I don't really want to lose 2 life here. No guts. Wait, did I already play land this turn? Oh, I did, didn't I? Didn't think I did. Alright. Then, no attacks, because I will not trade a Valiant Rescuer for a measly Whisper Squad. When they're just going to sack it next turn anyway. Deck card's good. Haven't seen Croxa yet, though. Have not seen the Craw. How are y'all holding up? Are y'all safe? Are y'all sick? Y'all have any ailments? Are you staying healthy? Did you stub your toe this morning? I got a canker sore on the inside of my lip. Ain't fun. Hopefully it, along with the virus, will be gone by the end of the month. Yeah. Because I care about you folks, I will not show you the canker sore. But you now know it's there. And I'm talking through it. I put my mouth in pain. For you. I care. That's what you get for gaining life. Take a damage. This is a awful matchup. They at least give us time to really fill up our graveyard. But the sad thing is we have to get to 20 Cyclers in the graveyard, otherwise it's like, we're not beating this deck. They just squad wide and slowly whittle us away. But that's why we're going to play Draenith. Really? It's 1 damage to any target, so it's like I lose my Rescuer here. But I'd rather lose 1 creature than 2, and then this thing just keeps spiraling out of control, so they got him. He did. Let's gain some life. Next turn, if we have nothing else to do, I'll probably play Lurrus Rescuer into a cycle. The reason I don't just play Lurrus and Rescuer now is because I don't get a ton of value out of it. I just get the value of Lurrus, and I just want to get as much value out of Lurrus as possible before he dies, because why wouldn't he die? They're playing a bunch of black and red. This guy has 2 toughness. It's like Kill City. So you're saying I could get in with my Stinger this turn? Wow. Don't think I do. I probably will attack with Stinger. Leave this guy back because my plan is to literally just sacrifice it to the priest. Don't want to get in just to trade with the Whisper Squad. Savaril! Thank you for joining us today. Again, 1 comment is just fine. No, they claimed him. Are they going to sack him now to their priest? Card's good. Claim the Firstborn is just too good. The more random those droppings are, the better. I think my doctor said something like that. Doesn't sound like a good thing a doctor would say. Yep, Lurrus is OP. Now I have to lose my healer. Man, Lurrus and Dreadhorde Butcher is gas, but like I've been saying for the past, 15 minutes that this individual game has been going, that we're going to lose. But I'll stick it out, because we just gotta draw our Zenith Flares. Can't shock now. If I did shock, we could draw 4 cards. Put us down to 5, 6, 7... Wait. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wide it out. Can't do that. Can't do that. It's looking like we're going to have to not cycle here. But it's looking like we're going to have to chalk this one up as a loss. 6-1 is, well, I mean, undefeated is, but 6-1 is the goal for what you kind of want a deck to be at right now, mainly because of the Channel Fireball tournaments that they have on the weekly. To qualify for their weekend tournaments, you have to go 6-1 in one of their... Or is it 5-1? It is 5-1. You have to go 5-1 in one of their qualifiers during the week. And so a good way to test is try to get to that 5-1. Which, since we're playing best of 1, is more like try to get to that 8-2. Or, I guess that'd be like 9-1 kind of. Yeah. But oh well. Like I said, this is not a deck that I would consider to be hyper-competitive, and it would not be a deck that I would take into a larger tournament. I think it's fine for climbing the ladder. It's better than the structure decks that they give you. Rough. And then they swing in for Leiths. GG's, my opponent. Alright. To the score. For those of you just tuning in, we are 6-2 with the 4-color Lurrus cycle decks, and as I will say ad nauseum until we reach there, after we finish playing 10 matches in best of 1 with this deck, we're going to jump into Ikoria Draft. Probably take like a 2-minute break between those two things just so that I can gargle salt water just to make sure that my throat is as lively as possible, because when you talk for hours on end, it starts to lose some of its luster and gets raspy. Not to mention, it starts hurting me. This hand is barely keepable. We got a Boom Boom. We have all of our mana that we really need. We have removal. The fact that it's 2 shotguns always feel pretty bad, but sometimes you gotta take a shotgun to make your mana work. They mull. 8-card hand versus the 6-card hand. And we have this matchup again. For those of you that weren't here earlier, this was one of our 2 losses today. Was to the Cavalcade deck. We're going to see if we can do better. It's a good start. Really sucks that we're going to have to shock ourselves here. But if we get a big enough fox down, we can start blocking all their stuff. Then we just got to get Lurrus out, gain some life, get to the late game, cycle, cycle, cycle. Zenith Flare to gain more life. I was wrong. Guys, this isn't the Cavalcade deck. This is the Winota deck. That deck's pretty broken. Let's see what we can do. So, my life is a little bit more useful here. I can start shocking and being a little bit more aggressive. We are definitely racing, and we need to remove all non-humans from the field whenever we can. way this deck works is there is a 4-mana 4/4 legendary human creature named Winota that says whenever a non-human creature attacks, for each of those creatures, look at the top 6 cards of your library and reveal a human from amongst them, put it into play, tap and attacking. That human gains indestructible until the end of turn. So this deck's main ploy is build up as many non-humans as possible to blow out the game with just a bunch of humans. In a lot of cases, they're playing Agent of Treachery, which just steals stuff. But that also means that they're not going to block here. And if they do block, that's good for us. That's what we want. They killed the Stinger instead of the Fox. Ugh. We just gotta hope that this last card is not a Winota. Killing me, Smells. Can't attack here. This might be another loss. Send them all. That's how you win. It is true, though. It is true. He should send them all. He has enough non-humans to really get a lot of good value out of Winota. So the right play here is to shove. Because we are going to take a good chunk here. And we just need to draw an untapped land so we can Zenith Flare to gain some life. And hope they don't have a removal spell. What do you mean could have discarded it? Oh, memory leak? They only had one card in hand, and so it's like waste my entire turn just to peek. They only had 3 mana, so could do it next turn, but I think that we're kind of on the back foot, and we're at the point that if they do have it with what they have on the board, we're in a pretty scary spot. I think we try. So we're at that point where we kind of gotta luck into it. So I'm gonna play Zenith Flare or Stinger. I'm gonna cycle twice on their turn. Be able to leave up blockers just to survive, and then start throwing out the Zenith Flares. By their turn, if they do attack, we will block and potentially put a Stinger in the graveyard just to get these up as high as possible. Because that's how we win. We win by them not having it. So we're leaning heavily on the variance of the game. No attacks. End turn. We're in survive mode. Spooky. Scary, scary. That's going to put us pretty close, pretty loose. 1, 2. So even if they need to... They always have it. But we're not dead yet. We're not dead yet. We need to hope that they don't hit an Agent of Treachery. Actually, they need to not hit anything. We need all of their humans to be on the bottom of their deck. For those of you that don't know, this is what Winota does. This is why the deck is busted. There's one. And that's game. That's okay. Alright, keep on it up a daties. 6-3. Not a bad spot to be. So we're going into the final game here. After this game, we're going to take a nice little 2-minute break so that I can recharge. And then we're going to go into some Ikoria draft. Yeah, we were betting and hoping that out of the... what did they have? They had 49 cards left in their deck. Out of the 49 cards in their deck, the last 13 were where all their humans were. But, you know, it's possible. That's why you don't scoop until you see it. You just play it out to the bitter end. But this is for all the marbles. I want to try and get that 7-3. 70% is pretty good for a deck. That's not bad. It's not bad at all. And this hand is fine. Yeah, we'll keep this one. For all of the marbles. And again, since we have a Zenith Flare in hand, we are going to cycle instead of wait to get the value off of Valiant Rescuer. We have more cyclers in the deck, so we're going to draw them. So there's no need to throw it away now. We just need to help pump this. Please don't be the enchantment deck. We already lost to you once. Let's see what we can do. It is the enchantment deck. But the good thing though, is they ain't gonna block. I can tell you that much. Because they're a coward. Hit me, I want you to do it. I want you to do it. Coward. So this deck, Voltron's up. It's a fine matchup until they get life gain. Once they get life gain, it gets pretty scary. The reason I play the healer here is because we are going to have to shock again. Are you going to attack? You going to race me? You going to race? Are you racy? Are you racing me? Oh, that's right. They have vigilance. No blocks. We get all the value we can. Sucks, this thing has trample. It's how they win. It's how they do the thing. Just need to cycle as much as we can, get as many cards in the graveyard as possible for a big old boom boom Zenith Flare. Do we get in for 3? 14. I think we do. No. No, just because I know they're going to block the Valiant Rescuer. and that would be the game. We'll play it out to the bitter end because it's the last one, but once this guy gains lifelink, it's just over. Actually, it might just be over now. I guess to hedge against potential growths to give us one more turn, even though it's futile anyway. Can we survive? We're up to 4. It's just an uphill battle now. The fact that 29 is just big nope. Y'all ever get that big nope in your life? Well, this is a loss. We'll go out swinging though. We will go out swinging. See how much damage we can do. They just take it. No respect. Take this too. And you know what? I'll take this. And then I'll do this. Yeah, scoop it up. And that's that. Short and sweet. Quick and spicy. So that ends that portion of tonight's stream. I'm okay with it. That's fine. Again, this deck is mainly just there for ladder climbing. It's really fun. 60% win. Not bad. Not bad. We're above the 50%. So, yeah. I like the deck. I like how it has the potential of just coming back and winning out of nowhere with a giant Zenith Flare. Just needs some way to deal with really large creatures, and that's what comes in for the sideboarded games. I don't have... these are just the sideboard cards I had. I didn't spend the wild cards just to do the sideboard out, but can't remember the exact name, but it's 2 mana, so we'll go over to the 2 manas. It's the 2 mana instant speed removal that deals damage equal to the number of instants and or sorceries in your graveyard, and if it destroys the creature, then it exiles it. So as we do not have it yet. Yeah, wait, we do have one. Right, yeah. So this is the way that the deck beats the really big creatures, like what was just happening there. But it's also very similarly constrained as Zenith Flare is, to where I need to have that many instant or source in the graveyard, so it's a little less powerful than Zenith Flare is. So Zenith Flare can hit it, but this is how I can hit it earlier, like on turn 3, just to get it off the field when you're cycling all of your instants and sorceries, all your boons, your ambushes, your leaks. So... Whoopity whoop. Again, like I haven't constructed the sideboard yet. Okay,